Okay, welcome everybody to the November 10th, 2025 Lehigh County Authority Board meeting. Looks like we have a jam-packed and fun-filled agenda for today. So everybody had their board packets mailed and emailed to them. And I guess we can get started with a call to order and roll call, please.
All right, roll call of the board, Amir Famili. Jeff Morgan.
Here.
Ted Lyons. Linda Rosenfeld. Here. Kevin Baker. Don Ziller.
Here.
Peter Dent.
Here.
Do we have 4 board members present, which is a quorum?
Okay, great. Reviewing the agenda, any changes, additions, any executive sessions today?
There are no changes to the agenda. I just want to note that the original paper packet that was mailed to you was amended with a couple of email updates that everyone should have received. And that was posted on our website as well.
All right, approval of the minutes. We need a motion to approve the minutes from the October 27th, 2025 meeting. So moved.
Second.
Second by Sean. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, none opposed. All right, the committee reports. So we had August 25th, 2025 Governance Committee meeting, and there were minutes in the packet. Do we need to do anything with those, or is that just for informational purposes?
That's really just for informational purposes. And if you reviewed the minutes, you'll see that most of the topics that were covered back in August have since been brought to the board.
Okay. So. Any public comments?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. All right, we're moving on to action and discussion items under finance and administration. The first topic is the 2026 water and wastewater rate schedules, which are the yellow documents in the board packet.
Right. For those who are following along online, these start on page 9. We don't have a presentation on the rates for 2026 because we've talked about rates several times through the whole budget process. So what this package is to do is to summarize all the changes to the rates that were included in the budget that was approved back in October, and then provides a copy of the water rate schedule and the wastewater rate schedule with the changes noted in the shaded, brightly highlighted areas throughout the rate schedules. So you can see in the memo, there's a listing of all the various changes. I won't go through them in great detail. Hi, Ted. Just noting that suburban water rates, common rates have changed along with Allentown water rates. The suburban sewer rates have changed for common rate systems, as well as all the Western Lehigh rates that were included in the user charge report that the board reviewed, and the Allentown sewer rates. There are some minor changes here and there on some fees related to the industrial pretreatment program as well. And the only other thing I wanted to mention about the rates is that on the first page of the wastewater rate schedule, there were some changes to the language that's at the top of the rate schedule. And that really is mostly for clarity regarding how we bill for residential sewer in our satellite systems. So trying to make sure the language is clear and accurate. So unless there's specific questions on any of the specific rate changes, that's what we have for today.
Okay, great. Any questions on the 2026 water and wastewater rate schedule? Well, all right, seeing none, then we need a motion for approval, please. Don't move. Second. Second by Ken. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I think we got an aye from everybody except for Sean.
If you could hear I was muted. Aye for Peter.
Yeah, I was muted as well. That's an aye from Sean.
Okay, great.
Okay, so thank you for that approval. I just wanted to follow up and let you know, these rates are effective January 1. They're posted on our website. So if we receive any public comments before January 1st, we'll get them to the board. So you have that great information.
Okay, moving on to the next item under finance and administration is Penvest financing resolutions for the lead service line replacement cycle 2 projects. Those are the green document in the board packet, and if I'm not mistaken, that may have been one that was modified and
Yes.
new version sent out via email.
Yes, we had a couple of changes to these resolutions. The resolution 11-2025-2 had some updated language after Penvest had reviewed the language. And then the third resolution was removed completely as Penvest had told us it was not needed. But rather than me explain, we have Tim Horseman, who's our bond counsel from Eckert Siemens, who prepared these resolutions and could go through what they're about and why we need to approve them today.
Great. Thank you, Liesl. Good afternoon, members of the board. It's great to be here. My name is Tim Horseman. I'm an attorney with Eckert Siemens in Harrisburg, and it's my privilege to serve as your bond counsel in connection with the water and wastewater system lease from the city of Allentown. The resolutions that are currently before the board, numbers 11-2025-1 and -2, would authorize the authority to enter into the Penvest loan. It's funding approval number 80257, consisting of a loan from Penvest in the amount of $5,660,930, and a grant, or what Penvest refers to as a principal forgiveness loan, in the amount of $6,337,070. Both of these loans, loan and grant, would be used to provide ongoing lead service line replacement projects in the city system. The 2 resolutions were reviewed by your solicitor and by Penvest and have been approved, and would authorize the authority to accept the 2 loan proposals and to execute all necessary closing documents so that we can close on these transactions in early January. These loans are now possible thanks to all the great work. I want to say especially thank you to Ed and to Lisa for all the assistance with getting the necessary amendments approved in connection with the indenture. The board remembers we had an ongoing issue that took a couple years to resolve with Penvest, but we were able to get that resolved just about a month ago. So I'm very pleased to present these resolutions today, and hopefully be able to close on these loans with the approval today in January. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
This was explained to me before, but as usual, I've forgotten it. Would you please tell us what a principal forgiveness loan is?
In short, it's a grant. Penvest is required to refer to these as principal forgiveness loans because they are, from the source of funding. It's federal funding that has been passed through to Penvest. Penvest has made the decision to call them principal forgiveness loans, so that's why it's referred to as such in the documents. It is not debt for purposes of the indenture and the concession agreement. The principal forgiveness loan accrues no interest, and it functions just like any other grant agreement. The authority complies with the terms of the funding offer. It's a grant. If the authority failed to comply with the terms of the grant agreement, it would be required to repay the grant, just like any other grant.
So it's really not a loan.
Correct. It's not a loan. Again, we're referring to it as a principal forgiveness loan because that's what Penvest requested.
Thank you.
Just one quick question as follow-up. Could we talk a little bit about I see on page 2 about the project collateral, which is the lien on concession revenues. Can you talk through that a little bit just to clarify kind of, obviously I know what
Sure.
project collateral is, but the concession revenues in particular in this situation.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So, this project collateral is subordinated indebtedness under the indenture, meaning that Penvest is accepting a subordinate lien on the concession revenues. The authority would pay all the debt service on its senior bonds under the indenture before paying the debt service on this loan. The references in the resolution to agency loan fund subordinated indebtedness. That is a term of art that we came up with for purposes of distinguishing the other type of subordinated indebtedness under the indenture. The indenture was amended just about a month ago to permit the incurrence of this debt. This has essentially been created to allow the authority to borrow from Penvest, but the authority does have one existing loan with Penvest that is also in a subordinated position.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Well, so do we have to read the title? No, we're not. Okay. So then we're looking for a motion for, and can we do both resolutions together in one motion? Is that okay?
No, I think we should do them separately.
Okay, all right. So first one is resolution number 11-2025-1. And that is for the grant, also termed as a loan that we were discussing. And in the amount of $5,660,940.
Make that motion, Sean.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, then the second resolution was 11-2025-2. And I screwed up.
The
First one was the loan, this one is the grant.
So, not exactly. The first one is the approval to do the borrowing.
Oh,
The
okay.
second one is called a reimbursement resolution, which is essentially allowing us to pay the costs upfront and be reimbursed by Penvest.
Okay. All right, so we're looking for approval for resolution number 11-25-2 as clarified by Lisa.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second. Okay.
Everything. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. You good with that? Let's move on. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to, for the record, show that Kevin Baker joined just as we started this conversation, so he's part of this group. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, so the next item, hopefully I won't screw up, it's pretty simple, the board meeting schedule for 2026. That was in the packet, that is the goldenrod colored documents. And I believe we approve this and then it gets advertised one time for the entire year.
Yes, we like to give the board time to review the schedule and just make sure there's no conflicts with any particular holidays or other things going on. So, and then this is the advertisement that will place for all the next year's meetings.
Okay. Any questions? Nope, and then motion to approve. So moved.
Second.
Ed, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Great, thank you. All right, moving on to water. Allentown Division lead service line replacement cycle 2 project approval. This is the pink document in the board packet.
Yes, and those, this packet starts on page 36 if you're following along online, and couldn't be better timing with the resolutions we just passed for the Penvest project. Now we have some contracts for that same project. I'm going to check if you have any introductory comments.
Sure, thanks, Susan. So this project is for SRV, or I'm sorry, it's lead service line cycle 2. It's for 1,000 private side services. So 1,000 services replacement, and it's structured as 2 contracts. So there's a contract A and a contract B, and Anton is going to present. Take it away.
Thank you, Chuck. I'm Anton Siekman, project manager with Capital Works, and today requesting capital project authorization from the board for the construction phase of the lead service line replacement cycle 2 project. For some background, EPA issued regulatory framework for lead and copper rule revisions in 2021. In 23, they published the proposed lead and copper rule improvements that would require replacement of all lead water service lines within 10 years of the final rule. So we're in our second project. Following cycle 1, we're planning to perform 1,000 private side lead service line replacements. This authorization will include professional services, contract awards, and we'll go over that here. Financials are provided by the Allentown division via grants and loans through the Penvest program, and this project represents change of law. For some project background, February 2024, engineering consultant CDM Smith was authorized for design, bid, project management, public communications, and construction management services. They have a history of lead service line replacement program design and construction management in the region. In August 2024, they were authorized for additional design and bid services. And then a second amendment was given to CDM Smith in October 2025 for construction management and ordinance development. Gannett Fleming, recently renamed as GFT, was authorized February 2024 for Penvest funding application services. Our project was advertised for bid in the form of 2 contracts of 500 replacements each, contracts A and B. That was advertised for bid on September 12th, 2025. Pre-bid meeting was held September 24th, 2025, and bids were opened for contract A on October 16th and contract B on October 20th of 2025. 6 bids were submitted for contract A, 4 bids submitted for contract B, and summaries of those bids are provided below. For this approval of the construction phase, contract time for the work is 540 days from notice to proceed. Final completion, 180 days after that substantial completion. Assuming approval at today's meeting, November 10th, construction's anticipated to conclude January 2028. The 2 general construction contracts are summarized here. For contract A, the 6 bidders are listed. Joao and Bradley's bid is recommended by CDM Smith to be awarded as the lowest responsive bidder. They've worked with LCA a lot in the past for linear projects, and their history is satisfactory. It's recommended that they be awarded contract A for $4,546,280. Contract B, reviewed by LCA and CDM Smith. Had 4 bidders, Hydrovac Excavation from Heber City, Utah, Salt Lake City area. It's found to be the lowest responsive bidder for contract B. They have experience with many large-scale projects on public and private utilities, including over $30 million of work to replace water meters and service lines. Their professional references were called. They indicated that they've performed satisfactory. So it's recommended that hydrovac excavation be awarded contract B for $4,384,655. That is both construction contracts. The professional services we're seeking approval for include the resident project representative inspection services for the construction phase of this project. And that is coming from CDM Smith. The amount for that authorization is $945,000. For some background, we did send proposals, a request for proposals to CDM Smith and CHA Consulting. We received both of them back and discussed internally, comparing the two, ultimately deciding to award CDM Smith with the inspection services, mainly because they have done the design and the construction management of the project, and we felt that they'd be best served to do the inspection of the work as well.
Can I ask a question? So glad you did that, because that number jumped out to me as $1 million of inspection. Seems like a lot. So was CHA's price competitive, similar?
Yeah, their price was about $40,000 higher than CDM Smith's. They did also include some project management and construction management services. That one of the benefits of CDM is they're already offering those services through their other contracts with us.
Okay.
And we also, like I said, felt that because they own the design, the project management and construction management, that it would be good to have one firm also be inspecting and following that design and plans and specifications.
Thank you.
Question. General construction contracts. Is there gonna be a plumbing contract with this? Or does the JC contract include the piping aspect?
It does include the piping aspect. It's just one prime contract for each of those. There is plumbing work involved that is up to the contractor to either self-perform or subcontract.
So they're not separate bids.
Correct.
Taken on this type of work. You mentioned that hydrovac is from Utah.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
So back in early September this year, we held a open house here for contractors that would be qualified to perform this kind of work. We had previously held a open house for sewer rehab contractors as well. Had a lot of response from them. We did not mention in either of these open houses any project-specific work, but more program-wide work with the idea to just draw attention to the amount of work that LCA was needing to have performed for lead over the 10+ years that we have to remove all this, and to highlight some of our bigger concerns about that work. And we posted that on PennBid as a request for information, just to show people that would be in PennBid's program or a website that we post our jobs to be seen publicly, contractors to bid on. They help manage the bid process. We, I think, do all our jobs through there. So the attendance for both open houses was really good. the lead, I think we had 10 contractors. We also reached out based on contacts we already had, reached out to other industry contacts for contractors that they were aware of. Hydrovac out of Utah found us just through the PennBid website. You basically can, as a contractor, list your capabilities and what area you're servicing.
Will they self-perform this?
We require that they self-perform 50% of the contract.
It seems unusual.
It is, and discussing with them before I talked to their head of sales prior to the open house, because they said they were gonna fly for their people out here. And I reminded them this is not a pre-bid meeting, it's just a discussion, and they are trying to make the push into this area with enough confidence that they sent 4 people out here just for that meeting. They did say they were had other contacts in the area. They were meeting with other utilities. I don't know who those were or what other work they're trying to obtain in the area. But they are.
All right, it just seems really,
Yeah.
I mean, for a $4 million, it was a $40 million contract, or
Yeah.
I can begin to appreciate it, but $4 million in today's world, these are prevailing wage jobs, I'm assuming, so it's expensive, and they know all about Pennsylvania prevailing wage and all the rigmarole that goes along with that. I bet Utah doesn't even have a prevailing wage.
I'm not sure.
But okay, so you.
Yeah. I think part of that effort was also because of that open house and indicating that this wasn't a single years of work, this is a decade.
No, I understand, I still just, I've been there, done that, this is
Yeah,
highly unusual.
it's a big effort, yeah.
Sean, you have a question?
Yeah, if I can get off mute. Yeah, and you may have already appreciate that explanation. And kind of my question maybe leads off from Ted's. And you may have already covered it and I just may have missed it. I get the idea, I get the concept naturally of the lowest responsible bidder. And maybe it is due to the nature of the work that's involved in the construction contracts between A and B. But looking at the submissions from both Hydrovac and Jow and Bradley, did I pronounce that correctly? If you took Hydrovac, what they bid in contract A and B, combined versus what Jow and Bradley had bid combined in both A and B, it's about a $900,000 difference. So just maybe it's because of the work involved, but what was the logic behind just not having it be one giant, for lack of a better term, one giant contract versus 2?
Sure, the intent of splitting it up was, there were a few, mainly to have that work be a little bit more competitive in the pricing between the 2 contracts. Because they're so large, if we were thinking we have one contract released before the other, or open before the other, the bidders may look at each other's numbers and adjust with the intent that they would adjust lower. That fortunately went as we wanted it to, and we did get lower bid for a lowest response bidder on the second contract.
If I could just add, Anton, we thought we could perhaps attract more contractors. If we'd have a slightly, small 2 contracts instead of one huge one, maybe we could attract more local contractors. I don't know if it would have made a difference, 500 versus 1,000. But this was our first large project, so we thought we'd see how that would go.
Are these contracts mostly labor, or there's no significant equipment involved here? You're digging and pulling out, the materials are de minimis, right?
Yeah.
Materials aren't anything.
Yeah, it's definitely mostly labor.
All
regarding the materials, if I could, the materials, the lead pipe that's being pulled out and the galvanized or copper, any of that, is that going off for recycling? And if so, do we benefit from the cost of any money obtained from providing recycled materials to the value streams that will recycle them?
I believe the contractors own that material and the proper disposal of that. So no, I don't think LCA receives any sort of benefit from that. Other than that it's no longer in our system.
I think the quantities are probably de minimis.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, as it gets larger, it could be something, but copper prices are up there.
Anything else or?
Yep, there is one more professional service. This is for GFT to provide Penvest funding services for the construction phase. So that'll include the settlement of the loan and grant in early January, and then their construction administration throughout the process, which involves approving or facilitating in the tracking and management of the construction to then submit to Penvest to get the reimbursement from them. And yeah, that dollar amount is $60,000.
Question for you, a general question. You get bids on projects. You descope the project, you call the low bidder in. If you call the second bidder in or not? Yes, no, maybe?
No,
You don't. I was just curious, when there's a difference in price, whether you trying to figure out where's the break here? Does everybody have everything? You have asking man hours, just how they're looking at the job.
our bid form is pretty thorough, and we can see that they've captured all the costs and submitted everything. We do have the same interest, trying to see what some of
Yeah, for instance, you got some
is.
bids here of 11 million, 8 million, 7 million, which are obviously not serious bids.
Yeah.
And they want to keep on the bidders list, so they're giving you a number, I'm sure. They fill in the form as well. Yeah.
I would say, I'm guessing you probably do the same thing, but if it's, the numbers are like way off compared to the engineer's estimate for the project, then I think there's a lot more.
That's what I'm going at.
Yeah, if the low bid is in the ballpark, or, I know we typically don't do a lot of follow-up unless if it's way over or way under the engineer's estimate, it's like, all right, this person missed something or
Yes,
whatever.
yeah.
I assume you guys do the same thing. If the bids come in kind of where you expect, as long as the forms are in order and it's a contractor, J.O. Bradley you've worked with before, there's not a lot of follow-up.
Yeah, just wanted to hear that.
Yeah, these were actually a little lower than the engineer's
Yeah.
estimate.
I just want to add one thing to that. For contract A, the low bidder, when we went and reviewed the bid items, we found what we call clerical errors in the way they bid. So once they corrected their clerical errors, they were now the second low. So we do scrutinize the numbers.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, so we need a motion to approve the capital project authorization construction phase for the lead service line replacement cycle 2 in the amount of $10,435,935.
So we should include all of the related contracts and professional service authorizations.
Okay.
You don't need to read them all.
Okay, all right.
I'll second.
Guys, Linda and then Peter,
Yep.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, great. Thanks for the detailed background on the request for approval. All right, so moving on, then we go to wastewater. So this will be sanitary sewer collection system, City of Allentown manhole rehabilitation project. And that's the blue document. I got it right. Yeah.
That's starting on page 47 for those who are following along online. And Bill, this is your occupation.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. You've heard this before, but I'll say it again, what the situation is with the manholes in the city. There's about, just say roughly 7,200 public manholes. Not all need to be rehabbed, but large majority do. And again, we're, all is just based on the 2021 flow data that we did. And the city has 8 sewer sheds, and 2 of the 8 sewer sheds we're focusing on the Trout Creek and East Side. So in late 2022, the board authorized the first manhole inspection package, and then we've had 3 since then. And the majority of the manhole inspections have been focused on Trout Creek and East Side, with another area kind of throughout the city. So of those 7,200 that are out there, about 4,400 were authorized to inspect, and we've inspected about 3,500. But the ones that we need to inspect, again, are Trout Creek. And those are all just about done. And so now we have all the, so we're way ahead with the inspections. Now we have to catch up with the rehab. In late 2024, the board authorized the first year 1, we called it. It was more of a pilot to test techniques on rehab. There are about 24 techniques that were put on the bid form, and a mixture of trenchless and quote unquote O&M rehab. So it was a hodgepodge of rehab. And the pricing reflected that. Some of the pricing we overpaid for because of the nature of the work. All that being said, there's about 250 manholes that were rehabbed with the pilot last year. And this past summer, a couple months ago, the effectiveness of the rehab was performed and analyzed. Physically going to a selection of the manholes and literally dumping water on the top, doing it 3 different times per manhole that they want to, one as you find it, one as a surveyor would open it, and one as you should find it. So the effectiveness was scrutinized, and that's still being analyzed. The analysis is almost done. But that analysis is going to feed the rest of the program. So that's a little bit of the background. So what the year 2 is, the year 2 will be strictly Trout Creek. We want to get Trout Creek done. Of the first of the 8 that need to be done, Trout Creek is the first. Within Trout Creek, there's 6 basins. We're focusing on 3 of those 6 for year 2. Trout Creek in general has about 1,800 manholes. And the year 2 package will be about 450 of those manholes. With the intent of getting those 3, remember there's 3 of the 6 basins. We want to get 3 of those basins done by the end of 2026. When I say done, as in the manhole rehab and then Jason's SRP packages. So we want to get those 3 of those 6 as much as we can get done, because we want to put meters back in the ground at the end of 26, early 27, so we can collect the data and judge it against the 2021 data. So we can see at least of those 3 basins, did the work we're doing, is it meaningful at all? And that's going to go a long way for DEP's benefit as well. So that's the background. Some of the details regarding this specific authorization. Given the fact that the board granted some more staff for this type of work, that all of this year 2 work all of it will not be bid out traditionally. We want to take the package. It's going to be 450 manholes. We want to split into 2 different paths. One path will be a traditional bid. We're assuming 150 manholes roughly, with some of the the more intensive techniques to rehab, whether that be a new frame and cover, we have the grout, puts chimney seals on, the more labor intensive work, more heavy equipment work. And then the balance The 300 manholes would be more O&M related work. Where the intent is eventually to use in-house staff to do that work, and the timing may not work out for us as it relates to the beginning of 2026 to do this all in-house. So we're still working through those details out. The point is that this authorization will get us two packages, one for traditional bid, and then the second package will be the in-house, quote unquote, in-house package. So that's what this authorization is for. Again, 450 total. This will not be the end of Trout Creek, 2027. We'll have to do the balance of Trout Creek manholes, maybe into 28. So it's a work in progress still, what the future looks like. But again, 450 for Trout Creek. We are recommending that we use Arcadis for a variety of reasons, since they have the model, they did the inspections, they did the last year's pilot. They know what needs to be done, where. They're gonna work hand in hand with Chris and operations to transition to that in-house work. Whether that occur in the middle of next year, the timing is to be determined how that's gonna play out with the in-house work. But that's the game plan, and maybe even Chris, we could transition to you fully in a couple years. But we're not there yet, so we still need contractor help to help with the timing. So that being said, the specific request for board authorization is for $130,000 for Arcadis to do the design and bid services. For both quote unquote packages, and I have 10,000 for staff and 20,000 for contingency. And we're getting into a recurring pattern here, whether it be every November or every October, where we come for the design authorization for the next year. So again, the 537 plan, we gave ourselves 10 years to do the manholes, and roughly 500 manholes a year. That could speed up as we get along here.
Okay, any questions for Phil?
You're doing 150 contracted this year, roughly.
With the balance being in-house and in-house, we're not
Okay.
exactly sure how it's gonna play out yet, but
So this whole thing is 290 is what you're saying? Is that what you're asking for? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
the package will be the $130,000 for Arcadis. They're gonna do two packages. One package will be 150 manholes. Second package will be 300 manholes.
Right, so this is for $290.
No, this
No.
is design phase approval for 160,000. The 130 is part of the 160.
Okay.
Yeah, 130 takes into the 160.
Gotcha.
130,000 will give us both packages. And then we're gonna turn around and get those out to bid with the intent of coming back to the board in January, February for the contract.
Contract, okay.
Any other questions?
Just a quick comment. When you talk about these, it might be fun if we could have a map that kind of throws up there. We see Trout Creek, and just so we know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, definitely for the
Just a
when
comment.
we get the contract award, I'll definitely have a map up there. for
Thank
you. Yeah. The three of the six that we're doing are they're the smaller of the three. So that's why we're.
Since Amir's not here, I'll ask the question, maybe some before and after pictures of the manholes.
Certainly, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when we're done. Just to go along with the work area.
Certainly.
Okay, so we need a motion for approval in the amount of $160,000 for the City of Allentown manhole rehabilitation project year 2, and that's essentially for design and bid phase services by Arcadis.
So move.
Okay.
Second.
And second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nobody. Great.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, The next item is Suburban Division, Heidelberg Heights Sewer System, ionized source reduction program approval. And it's the TAN document and digital board packet, pages 61 to 67.
It's actually with the revision to the agenda. It's
So I should just let you,
56, yeah.
just let you keep saying it.
That's okay. Starting on page 56, and this Chuck gets to do it.
Thanks, Rachel. Okay, so this is another Heidelberg Heights sewer rehabilitation project. If you recall, we've been doing a handful of these over the years since 2019, since before the consent order and agreement with DEP. We've been replacing the original clay sewer pipe up there, the public side with plastic. Because of the inflow and infiltration problem, in 2020, we experienced a lot of overflows the year before at the plant bypasses and overflows. And got the attention of DEP through the Chapter 94 process, and we were directed to execute a consent order and agreement, which has a corrective action plan embedded inside of it that basically is an implementation schedule and required us to replace all the public side vitrified clay pipe that was originally put in by the developer and was damaged, leaking, separated joints, all sorts of bad stuff. And we finished all that, and we rehabilitated all of the manholes. And our problem persists up there, though not to a degree that we saw before. We still get occasional violations. We received 2 violations, one permit exceedance this year, and 2 bypasses. So we still have problems up there, and we've attributed the remaining inflow and infiltration to the private side of the system. So this project is for construction phase to internally line 54 private laterals in the system in a part of the system where we have documented problems from CCTV inspection. With our consultant Martinez, we identified leaking laterals, separated joints, damaged laterals that are active leaks. And in order to get them, we need to do something, either dig up private property or go in internally with a trenchless technology. And that's what this project is. It's a trenchless technology. It's inserted through the clean out at the property line, and it's a resin impregnated felt liner that's installed up to the exterior of the house foundation. And it provides an impermeable liner that bonds to the inside of the pipe, and it can prolong the life of the pipe and seal where there's cracks and other deficiencies, like separated joints. So we bid this project, we advertised this project for bid last month, and we opened bids at the end of last month, and we received 1 bidder. It's a very specialized technology. I think that's the reason we got only 1 bidder. Bidder is Musson Brothers from Waukesha, Wisconsin. They do have an East Coast branch in Newcastle, Delaware, and our consultant, Arcadis, has worked with them extensively in the Newcastle area and recommends them. They apparently do very good work. So we got one bid for $326,520. It is below the engineer's estimate of $357,000, so we think it's a good bid. And that's part of the capital project authorization, along with professional services for Arcadis for $115,000. That figure appears high. It is for full-time inspection, and it's based on the contractor's productivity. I'm hoping the contractor, this being their specialty, that given their productivity, we don't have to use all of that budget. So what I'm asking for today is authorization of construction phase for capital project authorization of $461,020. And that includes construction contract for Musson Brothers of $326,520, and professional services from Arcadis at $115,000. Any questions?
Can I jump in just for
And I have one question.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to add the comment that this is being funded in large part by a grant from the Pennsylvania Small Water and Sewer Program that we received a $386,000-ish grant
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, and needs to be spent by
The end of this year.
roughly, a year from now, so.
No, we'd be in trouble if it was the end of this year.
So Chuck, my question is, so when you line a sewer main, you go from manhole to manhole, you have two access points?
Yeah.
These guys can go in the clean out and go up to the house without an access point at
Yeah,
that end?
it's a technology called line shot, and
Okay.
Arcadis has worked with it a lot. I'm familiar with what you're talking about, going from manhole to manhole.
Right.
And what it is, like the liner is like inside out, and
Yeah.
it's blown,
Correct.
it's blown in and it expands against the
Right.
inside of the pipe, and then it has an end seal.
Right,
That seals the end, but it is something different.
yeah,
So we're anxious to see how this works, and if we have success with it, we'll do it in other parts of the development. But this area, it's 54 units out of 138 total in the development, and this had the highest incidence of problems. That's why we selected it.
How old is the pipe?
Heidelberg Heights is from what, the early 70s? Something like that. I'm guessing like 55 years old. But I mean, it was developer installed, it was, I think the construction means and methods might not have been as they are today. And the pipe, we don't use clay pipe anymore, gravity sewer.
All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we need a motion for approval of the Heidelberg Heights Sewer System Ionized Source Reduction Program project, which includes a construction contract for Musson Brothers for lining, professional services for construction phase support for Arcadis, staff and contingency costs for a total of $461,020.
Make that motion.
Sean?
I'll second it.
Second by Ted. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, ayes have it. Okay, the next item is Allentown Division Sanitary Sewer Collection System Ionized Source Reduction Program. And in this case, we're looking for approval, not approval, but rejection of the bids for contract 2. Purple document in your board packet and.
Page 63.
Okay.
All right, this one is Chuck and Jason Peters.
Okay, Jason's going to present this one. As Phil mentioned in his manhole presentation, this is in the Trout Creek Basin, this project, which is generally south of Martin Luther King Boulevard. And this project is for 9,400 linear feet of sewer main grouting, along with 100 sewer laterals. So we usually don't come to you with a rejection request, but Jason's going to explain the nature of this.
Well, thank you, board. As you guys are aware, back in early October, I came to the board for approval for contract 1 in this area, touching on the needs of the SRP year 2 project and how we structured getting out on the street and bidding these projects. Definitely came into fruition in regards to how people are interested in this type of project work and how kind of niche the market is for this type of work in our contracting pool. Part of that SRP project, source reduction project, and the city's 10-year program that we're slated to take care of. We bid these projects, this project in 3 separate contracts. The first contract, which you guys approved beginning of last month, like I was talking about, was for CIPP lining. This project here for contract two, where we received bid, was specifically for capital grouting of main line. And we did have a little bit of about 106 sewer laterals approximately for caps on the main as well. We actually opened, we placed the project out to bid, advertised on August 18th, and bids were open on October 9th. We did have one bidder, actually two people put bids out. One we couldn't because they did not attend the mandatory pre-bid meeting. The one bidder here came in at $3,597,000. Kleinfelter, who was our engineer, had an opinion of cost of just below $1 million. We reached out to Arcadis because they do a lot of capital grouting work, and their opinion of cost was $1.2 million. So the bids that we received really shown where the market has changed a little bit. Where grouting of main lines is just not what the market people want to do. So we're coming to you guys for an approval to reject this bid. Thank goodness this wasn't cobbled up into one major project. So what we're going to be looking to do for future authorization, because we got to take care of some of this 9,400 feet of main line, then the also approximate 100 service laterals, is we'll reach out to contract one, and the 9,400 feet of main that was selected here to do grouting, we'll CIPP line that section. So we're going to come to you guys sometime in December to get a change order amendment for that contract, and the approximate 100 service laterals here in this contract. We'll try to get come to you guys in December again for a change order amendment for the next project I have coming to the board here today for contract 3. Pricing was really good in contract 1, about $50 a foot. The prices that we received here for grouting, if we put that in a lineal foot price, you're like $380 a foot for grouting. Night and day difference.
Any questions?
He's a poor contractor trying to make a buck.
Sorry, Ted.
In situ form is not a poor contractor.
Actually, to give you guys, so in situ form has contract 1. They did this project, but they also did contract. So
Yeah.
they're picking and choosing.
Right, and the prices for contract 1 were decent.
Yeah, contract 1 was below our engineer's opinion of cost. This one here, it just really shows that they did not want to do this type of work.
Okay, so we need a motion to reject the single bid received for sanitary sewer collection system II source reduction program, contract 2. And it was in the amount of $3,597,781.
So moved.
Okay, we got Sean, or was that Peter?
That was Peter.
Peter and Linda. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed to rejecting the bid? Nobody opposed.
Thank you for the rejection.
Always happy to provide a rejection.
So then moving on, same theme here today. Allentown Division Sanitary Sewer Collection System Ionized Source Reduction Program. There'll be approval of contract 3, which is the salmon colored document in the packet, and
Page 65 online.
okay, all right.
I will stick with the Chip and Jason show.
Jason, you're on.
Miles, all right. So same stick, everybody. Contract 3 here, again, this is for the niche side of the market where we were, scope of this project was to capital grout the laterals at this point. Contract 3 was to go back into the areas where contract 1 did their CIPP lining work and grout those laterals and seal them up. 724-ish laterals as what were identified in the contract to go ahead and grout. So we're coming to you for a capital project authorization, the amount of $183,070, which includes a professional service authorization for the construction inspection only to Arcadis for $267,000. They will be working closely with Kleinfelter, who you guys authorized in our October 13th board meeting for the construction management and the inspection of contract one. With this being a capital grouting lateral lining project, we felt it was best to give that to Arcadis. They have extensive knowledge on the capital grouting program and all the extensive inspection that goes along with it. Third part of there is the general construction contract for to In Situ Form Technologies for $826,070. We did put this project out to bid, just like we did contract two. We got one bidder that was In Situ Form. As you can tell, the market and the bidding pool we have around here. So like I had mentioned to you guys, we're coming to you for a capital project authorization in the amount of $1,183,070.
And this is the one that our engineer, this bid is lower than what he estimated.
For this one here, for contract three, this was about $50,000 more than our engineer's cost of opinion. So we're right there in the ballpark.
Okay.
So can you describe really quickly what they have to do here to grout these laterals?
So part of the process is the pre-CCTV jetting, cleaning, work the main line, look up in those laterals, see if we can actually grout them depending on how they're built. They'll actually clean that lateral out, and then they'll put a launching packer up and in with a kind of almost like a sock that blows out, and then they can actually pack the annular spaces that are part of the saddle tap that's on the main itself, the lateral tap connection, and any of the upper joints that will go. We're gonna try to get about 10 feet up those laterals. Some of them will only be able to do 2 or 4 feet. They come in, the actual packer head, there's predetermined lengths as it tries to get up in that lateral. So it's a pretty extensive process to put a visual eye on it, and then go ahead and get all the apparatus together, the acrylamide grout mixed at the appropriate temperature so it has enough.
Is this all done from the manhole?
Yes, enter into the manhole, get into the main line, all trenchless. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have anything further? Or is it? Okay, so any other questions? Okay, so we're looking for an approval for Downtown Division Sanitary Sewer Collection System Ionized Source Reduction Program. Contract 3, which includes construction field inspection time for Arcadis, the general construction contract lining to be done by In Situ Form Technologies, and staff and contingency time in the total amount of $1,183,070.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, no one's opposed. I just have one question. So I assume you guys have looked at this, but there's a lot that was approved today. There's a lot going on. Lead service line replacement. So you're not gonna have people like working in areas, contractors pointing finger at one another, like, I'm delayed because he's in my way. Are we spread out across the city with all of this stuff, or you guys have to work on that?
That we're spread out amongst even the UGIs in the city of Allentown,
Okay.
their own work.
Okay,
There's a lot of ongoing
yeah,
work throughout the city, and most absolutely.
okay. All right.
Well, thank you for the approval this time and after the discussion.
All right, so the last item for approval today is Klein's Island wastewater treatment plant substation number 1 and switchgear replacement project. And it is change order approval. And it's the gray document in our packet, and it is page number
75.
75,
We have a lot
digital
on
version.
our agenda today, so we're just about out of colors.
Yes.
The very last color is gray. We have a brief presentation. Do you want to set it up before we
Yeah.
put that in?
Yes, thanks, Lisa. So Amy Rohrbach is gonna present this. She's managing this project over at Klein's Island, the replacement of substation 1. And this is a change order due to unforeseen conditions, poor condition of a major feeder cable. That once it was uncovered, it was found to be not suitable to keep in the ground, to keep in service. So with that, Amy.
Always correct. Thank you, Chuck. Yeah, as Chuck said, this is the substation 1 primary switchgear replacement. As you recall, almost 2 years ago, we received construction authorization. This has been a very lengthy project, mostly due to supply chain. Just getting the equipment took a very long time. When our contractor was going to reconnect the feeder cables to the temporary gear that they have set up so they could demo the old gear. They found that the one feeder cable that feeds MCC 14, which is for the odor control unit down by the primary settling tanks. The feeder cable was deteriorated and cracking and it needs to be repaired. So as you can see in this first slide, the substation and switchgear is off there to the left where the arrow is pointing. The next slide will show pictures of the existing cable. You can see the cracking on the insulation. So that needs to be replaced. This is about 5,200 linear feet, the run. So it's a lot of cable. And anyone who's bought wire just for your house knows, it's not inexpensive. And this is large size cable, obviously. I think the next slide shows the distance. That red line is where it's running. So it's if you've been to Klein's Island, that's quite a distance. It doesn't look so bad on the screen, but when you walk it, that's pretty far. So we're replacing that 5,240 feet of this cable. And there's really no way around it. This needs to get replaced for safety reasons. This wasn't something that was really able to be foreseen until the contractor got in there and started removing stuff. So it was nothing that we really could have caught and included in the bid. The estimate from our contractor is $81,727.06. And that is what I'm here requesting today for this change order. Any question?
It's 240 feet, 1 mile.
Almost.
Just a quick question for the 81,000. Obviously, I know a big component of that is the cable itself, but what's the breakdown for cost of the labor for the contractor?
The cable was about 52,000 and change. And then there's labor costs and there's just the other ancillary stuff for pulling that cable. There's an existing spare conduit they're going to use for most of it, but there is a section that they have to run through the same conduit. So we're going to have a shutdown, which it's just running the odor control unit. So we can shut that down for the day they need to pull it. That won't be an issue, especially this time of year. And then all the tie-ins at either end. So it includes all of that.
What's the lifespan of a cable like that? Or is it really hard to ascertain?
I can't answer that. That I don't know, but this cable, how long was that odor control that was put in the
50 some years ago?
Okay.
I'm guessing 50 some.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Any other questions?
All right. All good. All right, so we need a motion for approval of change order number 3 for Phillips Brothers Electrical Contractors in the amount of $81,727.06 for installation of the new cable as described.
So move.
Yeah.
So move with Peter here.
Gotcha, Peter.
Second.
Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, one opposed.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, monthly project updates.
All right, well, I think I have some good news for you, which is that there are no action items planned for the next meeting, which also happens to be the Monday before Thanksgiving. So unless anything pops up over the course of the next few days, we'll look to cancel that meeting. We do have the monthly financial and operations reports, which we will still prepare and send out to everyone. So those are, and post online. So those will be available. On page 5 of the report, we do have a little bit of a preview of December 8th meeting, which is the last meeting of the year. However, this report was published before we met about the safety item. So the safety item will probably hold until January. So we have a little more time to prepare a good discussion. So we have a few things that'll be coming up in December to review as our next meeting of the year. Also in December, we will need to spend some time on the pretreatment plant and what the path forward is there. So we'll preview December. And then all the outstanding projects we have going on are listed in the back if there's any questions about those. I will note, also there's a couple on here under the Act 537 category. Phil and I kind of picked a few of them out that we could say are in closeout now that the 537 has been submitted. So those are listed and we'll pull them out of the next time.
Okay, great. Any questions? All right, so moving on, we talked about the financial review and the systems operation report. Staff comments.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you. Solicitors' comments.
No report. Happy Thanksgiving as well.
Okay. Public comments.
No, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
No comments, thank you.
Board member comments.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah, and no executive session.
Veterans Day tomorrow. Before we adjourn, Ted and Kevin Kevin, you have a link to a separate executive committee meeting. Okay, great. And we will, once everyone breaks up, we can rejoin on that one.
Okay, great.
Take care, guys.